1, 2, 3, testing. Let's go. So we're reacting. We're doing a bit of a reaction stream here. Breaking news. We're going to look at the CNN live updates. Now, I do believe, I'm not a fan of CNN, but we'll use what they got. Remember, we got to take this with a grain of salt. We got to see what's going on. So the title of this is Immigration Crackdown Underway in New Orleans and Twin Cities. What they're covering, the Department of Homeland Security announced today the start of the anticipated immigration operation in New Orleans, dubbing it Operation Catahoula Church. In Minneapolis and St. Paul, Minnesota, a new immigration operation targeting undocumented Somali immigrants has begun. A source with knowledge of the plans told CNN. Okay. Give me a few moments, folks. We're going to go over the rest of this here in just a second. We're getting the live stream set up here. So, cracking down on immigrants, all right. Let's see here. What else we got going on? Getting a few things set up, you guys. Sorry about that. There we go. Okay, so... Oh, this is kind of huge. Breaking news. Breaking news. Here we go. Let's see. President Donald Trump said in his cabinet meeting yesterday he does not want Somali immigrants in the United States, referring to them as garbage who should go back to where they came from. Okay. I'm kind of neutral on that. Look, I don't think we should be letting a lot of people out in here, though. I think during the Biden administration, it was a little crazy. All Americans have to leave the USA when technically... No, I appreciate it, Sam. Thank you. But no, overall... Yeah, overall, I don't know. Give me 1 second, you guys. One more second. I'm upset because I'm woke. We're talking about Trump doing his thing. He's, see here. The latest operation in Minneapolis, they're trying to get rid of, they're trying to target undocumented Somali immigrants, basically. Let's see, the latest operations come after immigration crackdowns in Los Angeles, Chicago, Memphis, Tennessee, and Charlotte, North Carolina. Trump's efforts have disrupted every aspect of the immigration system. The immigration system, illegal border crossings have dropped. Asylum cases and refugee admissions are halted, and work visas are being restricted. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. If you are here illegally, kind of on you at the end of the day. First off, it's on Biden. If we're gonna point fingers, we got to blame Biden and anybody who just went willy-nilly, letting people in without vetting them. Yeah, no, I mean, here's the thing. First off, I mean, Biden did leave the border open. One of the major reasons Trump got elected was because Biden left the border open. That was a big deal. A lot of people were pissed about that. I can't say I blame them. And not just the border, he allowed a lot of people in. So I was looking over those numbers, and 80,000 Afghanis were allowed into the United States. Do you want to know why that's troubling? It's 80,000. And Biden said, basically what Biden said is they were all informants. They all helped us out during the war. I don't think we needed 80,000 Afghanis to help us out during the war. Maybe there was a handful, but there couldn't have been 80,000, right? So I find the numbers very sus, and it's weird that we would allow so many people in from a third world country. Like, look, I'm not saying this to be elitist or anything like that. I'm just saying, you know, instead of, and this sounds terrible for me to say, but instead of coming to America and trying to put your crap values in America, like, look, there's a reason some countries are third world countries. There are some reasons for that. And normally it's because of the culture. Like, look at America. I think America's on the downswing. Our culture's gotten worse. We've turned. I don't even know what we're doing anymore. What America's doing. First off, our culture's been so warped that I'm concerned that we might be going into eventual third world territory, and it could happen. It very well could happen, but we have to remain the pinnacle of individualism across the globe. We have to be. And I don't know, man. It's crazy. $60 billion to Israel? Jeez, man. But no, I'm not happy with what's been going on. I think that we as a country, I feel like, are on the wrong path. I'm just not feeling it, man. But yeah, 24 minutes ago, there's a little mini article that was posted on CNN that says, parents are afraid of being separated from their kids, Catholic priest says. A Catholic priest in Kenner, Louisiana, leading a predominantly Hispanic parish, says his community is afraid but have faith as the immigration crackdown is underway in New Orleans. And immigrants so understand. Now, here's the thing. It's illegal immigration, right? Now, I'm not saying that ICE should be going through churches. I think that's a little bit of a low blow, and I don't like that. But, you know, I think ICE needs to be a little more diplomatic with what they're doing. They can't bust into homes. I disagree with that. It's nothing, they keep the banks open. Yeah. Yeah, it's ridiculous, man. I think what the world has turned into is a little bit crazy. I'm not the biggest fan of what ICE is doing. I don't believe that you should break into people's homes. I believe that is a crime in itself. Even if you think that they're an illegal immigrant, sorry. You need to go through some processes beforehand. The thing is, yeah, look, with the whole ICE thing, it's like, well, you think I would be more afraid because I have the last name Garza, you know? You know, I am Mexican technically. But here's the thing, I got all my documents, I got all my papers. I can prove I'm actually a citizen. That's the thing. I can prove I'm a citizen straight up, you know. Is ICE going a little too hard, though? I think they are. I think ICE is going a little too hard, man. I mean, if they can prove, look, if ICE can prove that you're here illegally, then they have every right to break down the door. If they could prove it, there's got to be some sort of proof. If there is no proof, I don't know, man. I don't know how I feel about that if there's no proof. Chris says, Brony brother has arrived. Party can now start. Hell yeah, Chris. Thank you, brother. Tristan says they're only doing what they're told and paid to do. Yep. Blue Nose Pity says, I still can't believe Biden left the door open. Yeah, I mean, here's the thing. You know, people can get mad at Trump, but get mad at the dude who let so many people in, and also undocumented, by the way. I don't know. We just shouldn't have let that many people in. Too many people. And I really don't think it's a bad thing to say that. I don't. Yeah, I don't know. The Sleep King says, Doctor, my tummy is effed. All right. Make sure you guys tap the like button, though. You know, like double tap the screen to like the video. What up, my bronies, my brony brothers? I move in and move out, hands up, hands down, back up, back up. Tell me what you're gonna do now. Yeah, no, I think opening the doors to everybody, I think, was probably one of the worst ideas in the world. Look, I mean, Biden just naturally pisses me off. Yeah. I don't know. I don't know how anybody can be riding with Biden, you know. But people were riding with Biden, dude. I'm sliding to Biden, you know. But yeah, I mean that's what people were doing. People were all like, "Oh, riding with Biden, yeah, riding with Biden, oh yeah." But anyway, Joe Biden, my home jog. This is going to be a pretty short stream, by the way. It's not going to be anything crazy. But yeah, exactly. Our leaders were saying, "Hey, come here, get free stuff. You get all the free stuff in the world." Yeah, yeah, yeah. And we're pretty much offering free stuff to all these, you know, immigrants. It just doesn't make sense. Like, we can't just, you know, people should be a little more pissed off about this. You do realize that when you pay taxes, all of your tax money is going towards either tons of people who are coming in, even if it's legal. We shouldn't even I think, honestly, we need to put a pause, at least a somewhat of a halt of even legal immigration. We got to stop letting more people in. Just period. End of story. I'm not saying forever. Temporary pause, by the way. We have to redo our vetting system. We got to figure out who's coming in. Do they actually like America? Are they set on just what do they want, you know? Not everybody who crosses the border or comes in through our borders is out to make things good for this country. It's just not true. You know, that's true. What I'm saying, it is true. That we're letting too many people in, frankly. And while we are the melting pot, we should still allow legal immigration, not at a high level, though. That's the point. But yeah, and my grandpa was from Mexico, for example, and I'm not a fan of Mexico. I figure, why should I be, you know? We're all living a reality show. And when it comes to election day, there shouldn't be early voting, and you shouldn't be allowed to. You should be. Shouldn't be allowed to mail in votes in person only. Interesting. What's up, Real Roman Macron says hello. What up, my brony brother? How you doing? One of our members, if you guys want to become a member, feel free to join. Only 99 cents a month or $1.99 per month. You could choose whichever one. The lower option's the better one. It saves you money. Both do the same thing pretty much. But yeah, we do have exclusive shows if you become a member, just as a heads up. So we got fun exclusive shows. We keep it entertaining. We try to, at least. And we do our thing, man. Real Roman Macron says he sprained his wrist playing basketball yesterday. You going to be all good, man? What's the recovery time looking like on that? One time I effed up my shoulder a little bit, like playing basketball. Like I actually like went up like this, and I could hear it. I never got it like looked at, but like it's still, my shoulder works now. It recovered really well naturally, but man, I stopped playing for like a couple weeks after that. Yeah. Oh, you used a foot wrap earlier? Hell yeah, dude. Gotta wrap that sucker up, dude. Gotta wrap that sucker up. Thank you to everybody who liked the stream so far. We got 4 likes. We're trying to get to 10 likes before it hits 12 o'clock. So more likes, the better. It definitely helps the stream out a lot. So please like the stream. YouTube pushes it out to more people, and it does help us grow. We're trying our best to go on a growth path, and encouraging people to like these streams has allowed for us to get on a growth path. So, we're doing really well on subscribership, that's for sure, just general subscribers. But more likes, the better. It pushes us out to a wider audience, and the more people, the better. So what is my tip of the day is what Samuel Westall is asking. Those dudes who race dirt bikes are insane. They break her. Oh, yeah. But yeah, no, tip of the day, if Samuel Westall, I would say would be... Well, I can't really give any advice, so none of this is financial advice. Tip of the day would be... and we'll keep it to investing, I guess. That's what I would consider myself pretty good. Samuel Westall Incorporated limited shares are now 1,000 euros a share. Hell yeah, dude. 1,300 US dollars. Oh. I don't know if I feel like putting down that amount of money. I only buy shares if they're, around, well, if the shares are over $200 per share, I tend to avoid it. Unless it's like an ETF or something, I'll take that. Tip away, man. So overall with the tips, I guess if I were to give, I won't say it's a tip, but it's old man unk advice, I guess you could say. It's not advice, actually. It's just, how about this? It's educational wisdom. How's that sound? We'll put a fancy word on it. Not financial advice, though. So my belief is that if you are in the market, you're always good. If you're diversified within the market, you're definitely good, right? Now, you gotta, you can't just get into penny stocks. I think if you get into penny stocks early, you're going to form a lot of gambler habits. That's what I learned when I started out in investing. I formed a lot of gambling habits, and it's not good. And I'm glad I got in. I will say this though, I'm glad I lost a little bit of money early, being an idiot, because, and I'm not saying that you should. I'm just saying it was a damn good lesson, and it forced me to really look into how to invest properly. And then once I learned how to invest properly, it was all winning game from there. This is not financial advice, not at all. Always talk to a financial advisor, just for educational and entertainment purposes only. Keep that in mind. But yeah, anyway, so for me personally, when I started reading up on how people invest, Money Master the Game might be the greatest book on investing in the world. I'm just going to tell you guys that right now. Money Master the Game is a game changer. It is unbelievable. It's a great book. I ended up giving it away though. Once I was done reading it, which was a brilliant book, by the way. The All-Weather Portfolio was my favorite aspect of that book, where Ray Dalio talks to Tony Robbins and talks about spreading out your risk not only across equities, but you could do it across bonds and commodities, that sort of thing, and real estate. And it's really a beautiful book. And if you want to be a better investor, I think Money Master the Game is incredible. But that's my take on it. I don't really give any stock tips, but I can let you know what my favorite stocks are. So on an individual basis, I do happen to love Coca-Cola. I think Coca-Cola is a fabulous stock. I think PepsiCo's great. Realty Income is fantastic. It's my favorite real estate investment trust. I have so many different real estate. I have like one share of just about every single REIT that you can imagine. I wouldn't say I have all of them, but I'll just say quite a few. And REITs are great, man. I think REITs are fabulous. I love the dividends that you get from them. I think REITs might be the most overlooked asset class out there. And I will say a lot of smart rich guys get into REITs. Now, is it better to get into REITs than normal real estate? I will say that your chances of making more money increase when you get into real estate. Because, one, if you yourself are buying the home, even if you're borrowing the money, and you're renting the home or renting the building, whatever you have, I mean, you get all the profits pretty much, right? So you make a lot more money being an individual landlord than owning REITs. However, there are two drawbacks to being an individual landlord that you can consider. As an individual landlord, you are missing out on diversification, right? You can still own a few buildings, but at the end of the day, you are just one person, right? And those are just 3 or 4 or 5 buildings. That's not enough diversification in my book, because you're still only in the real estate. You're in the residential sector, you're in the commercial space, you name it. While there is more upside to making money in real estate itself, real estate investment trusts offer something different. First off, you get diversification. You don't have to manage any of the properties. So not only that, you're saving yourself time. There are obviously management fees that go into it because here's the thing. Hold on. Realty Income, the executives obviously of Realty Income are not like going to each of these properties and managing them. No, they're usually hiring management teams to keep these buildings intact. Hell yeah, dude. 2 R's and star. Hell yeah. Samuel Westall, man, what a beast. But I will say this, Sam. I will say this, brother. With real estate investment trust, though, I prefer real estate investment trust to actually owning actual real estate, because technically when you own these real estate investment trust companies, you are an owner of the real estate, because even having one share in each of these REITs means that you are technically an owner of the company, and that company owns the assets. Therefore, you, in a lot of ways, are an owner of the assets. Ownership is important, man. It's okay, Sam. You're a really cool dude, so I don't mind if you take over the chat. You really are a cool dude. So I'll give you the benefit of the doubt, brother. I'll always give the benefit of the doubt. But yeah, the one thing I want to say, I guess the best piece of old man wisdom I could impart to you guys is investing is very simple. It doesn't have to be complicated. In fact, human beings tend to make it more complicated than it needs to be. And I would like to impart some of that wisdom that I was talking about, that you don't have to be a slave to all this. But I will say this whole ICE immigration crackdown thing is pretty wild. It's crazy. Oh yeah, I'll most likely be live, doing lives later. Yep. But thank you for joining in, Sam. Appreciate you, brother. Oh, hey, thanks for, you're going to tweet my channel out on the Twitter? Hell yeah, dude. Well, I appreciate the Vine, and anytime you want to, talk about your company on here on the chat, I welcome it because you're a really cool dude. So thank you, Sam. I appreciate you, brother. You're a beast. You're a beast. All right, make sure you guys tap the like button. Yeah, so, the whole ICE immigration thing, the crackdown in Minnesota and New Orleans, it's a little bit wild. It's crazy, man. That's wild, dude. What do you guys think? And then also, Henry Coulier, Trump says he is pardoning Democrat congressmen in bribery case. So that's interesting. He's reaching across the aisle and pardoning a Democrat senator. Interesting. So I guess something in Tennessee. Let's see what's going on here. Tennessee, there's an election going on. Okay, so Republican Matt Van Epps wins House special election in Tennessee. Here's an alarm for takeaways. So it's good that we won in Tennessee, but I guess it was a pretty close election or something like that. So look, I'm on the side of Republicans at this point because they're not the Democrats. I hate to say it. I'm not a fan of what traditional Republicans have become, but I'm definitely not a fan of the Democrat Party. Yeah. So this ICE immigration crackdown in Minnesota and New Orleans, man, it's kind of crazy. It's kind of wild, man. It's kind of, what do you guys think? Do you guys think that we're on the right path? Do you guys think that Trump is abusing his power? Like, what are you guys feeling here? It's crazy. And we got to admit, man, what happened in Minnesota is crazy too. There's a lot of, it's all pretty sketch. It's all pretty damn sketchy in my opinion. Let's see here. Well, let's all give a round of applause to my boy Samuel Westall for 3. Here we go. But yeah, thank you, Samuel Westall, for tweeting my show on the Twitters. Maybe I should start doing that. Maybe I need to start sharing to the Twitter more often. Actually, you know what? I'll do that right now. I'm going to share to Twitter. I figure I'm live right now. Might as well, man. We're live. It's a good way to get it out there. And then what else? What other social media platform can I send this to? Facebook? No. Facebook sucks. Pinterest. Reddit? That might be one place. Yeah, I'll put this on Reddit. Hell yeah. Select a community. The Real Garza community. Hell yeah, dude. Oh, I never finished up my Reddit community. What the hell? Yeah, screw the mod community. Screw Reddit, man. Reddit sucks. But, I mean, I'll post on Reddit because it's just more eyeballs. It's just more woke people coming in. We gonna get some wokies. The wokes. But anyway... Yeah, I think overall, with the whole ICE situation, is it ideal? No, it's definitely not ideal. But at the same time, are you related to Canelo? Who is Canelo, by the way? Zero clue who that is. But yeah, no, this is wild, man. Wild, Wild West. Go into the Wild Wild West. We're going straight to the Wild Wild West. We're going straight to the Wild Wild Wild. Wicked, wicked, wild, wicked, wicked, wild, wild, wild West. Jim West, Desperado, Rough Rider. No, you don't want nada. We go into the Wild Wild West. Don't forget to tap the like button, you guys, and don't forget to simp-scribe. Simp-scribing is a very important art. Don't you forget it. All right. I'm feeling so sexy. I need to put on some deodorant, man. I stink. All right. When will Bitcoin bottom? Bitcoin is a bottom. Bitcoin is beta. It's going to eventually crash again. And Bitcoin always crashes. When doesn't it crash? Here we go. Beta. Bitcoin is beta. Yeah, but so what do you guys think? Do you guys think this crackdown is necessary, unnecessary? What are we feeling here? What are we feeling, G-Dogs? Use a beta. 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 All right, so what are we feeling here? When I think about you, I touch myself. Oh, I don't want anybody else. No. Tim Smith says breaking. Kristi Noem tells Trump half of Minnesota visas are fraudulent. Oh my God. I mean, that wouldn't shock me if there's already a lot of fraud going on around here, so yeah. And I think Tim Walz, I mean, they're already investigating Mr. Tim Walz, man. They're already investigating Tim Walz pretty hard on this one. Actually, let me look up Tim Walz real quick. Tim Walz. So the Washington Post has an opinion piece that says Tim Walz can't admit the downsides of too much welfare. Yeah, there is a downside to that. You can't. It is true that welfare is a handout, whether people like to admit it or not. And if people need to be on welfare, okay, I understand. Understandable. There are people who get into those positions in life where they need it. No problem. But at the same time, you can't just give everybody. Tim Walz hit over Minnesota's $1 billion COVID fraud scheme. He's an idiot. Yeah, he is an idiot. Tim Walz is a dum-dum. He's a dum-dum. It's fine to admit that. I think Trump was maybe a little too harsh by calling him a tard, but Tim Walz is not a smart governor. He is a bad governor. Look at the Summer of Love riots. He basically let Minnesota burn. Tim Walz is incompetent. And most people in government are incompetent. Let's just put it that way. This is why government, especially the federal level, should stop running so many things. Because when incompetence runs things, it's bad. This is why you need the private sector. Because the government is a force and it's not meant to create goods and services. And when it does create goods and services, it forces those down your throat. And it makes your life miserable. Government should be seen as a force, and not a force of good, but simply a force. And not a force that you want, by the way. You don't want that much government intervention in your life. Only if you're about ready to stack at zero do you need government intervention. I don't know. Minnesota DHS workers accuse Governor Walz of ignoring fraud warnings. Of course. That's because Governor Walz is basically, I don't know. He's definitely dumb. I'm not a fan of Tim Walz though, dude. Tim Walz is just the worst. Like, he let Minnesota burn during the Summer of Love riots. What blows my mind, and I think I understand what happened. People who could afford to move out of Minnesota did. And those people were most likely not Democrats. The reason that Minnesota continues to vote Democrat is because Democrats offer a lot of free shit. And that's what Minnesotans want. Now, granted, it's just like in New York and California. The people who vote Republican and conservative were tired of being bossed around by liberals. So they were like, okay, well, let's move to Texas or Florida where we don't have to deal with these crazies. And that's what happened. But yeah, there's definitely seems to be pretty fraudulent activity happening there. So it doesn't shock me in any way. It really doesn't. Like, this whole thing just doesn't shock me at all. Dude, that would be bad. We do not want Gavin Newsom. We don't want Gavin Newsom as the president, dude. Are you kidding me? Why would you want that? Dude, that guy is just as... You guys say that you want Donald Trump out of the office. There's really no difference between Donald Trump and Gavin Newsom. They're both sleazy. I prefer Trump because he's actually not a pussy. But Gavin Newsom, not only is he he's a fraudster, dude. I don't know. I don't understand how anybody could take one look at Gavin Newsom and be like, oh, I want Patrick Bateman's American Psycho to be president. Because if you ever listen to that dude talk, that dude sounds like Patrick Bateman from American Psycho. And anyway, I'm not going to go into it too much. Those are the correlations I've drawn. So, yeah, if you think Gavin Newsom's going to be president, I mean, who knows? It could happen because people might be that dumb to vote him in. But you can never say never, unfortunately, but I think people would be dumb enough to vote Gavin Newsom in. I really do. You've watched American Psycho, right? You could put a side-by-side of how Gavin Newsom talks and then how Patrick Bateman talks. They're the same dude. They're the same frickin' dude. That's a good question, Dolphin Tactic. Probably too many. I don't know. But yeah, no, I think what's happening is fabulous. And yeah, I don't know how anybody could trust Gavin Newsom, man. Like, I really don't, man. But yeah, no, yeah, I wouldn't trust him to be president at all. Like, Newsom, hell no, dude. Say no to Newsom. But yeah, I think we'll probably end the stream here in about maybe 5 or 10 minutes or so. We'll figure it out. But yeah, it's wild, dude. It's wild. I realized I got to I was going to put some water in a spray bottle and kind of clean out my windows. Like, they're looking okay, but there's kind of like, what do you call it? It's a weird, like, they need to be cleaned, you know? So if the inside of my windows are nice and shiny, I'll feel better. So after I'm done with this stream, I'm probably going to go clean the windows in my car. Sometimes you got to clean those windows, man. Clean those windows, bro. We're all living a reality show, whoa. And everyone is always acting their role. We got quite a few people on here. I'm loving it. And feeling good. But yeah, dude, he reminds me so much of Patrick Bateman from America. Like, dude, seriously. Like, if you don't get the heebie-jeebie, like, even listening to the guy talk, he just seems like, the dude seems like, I'll bet you anything, if you took a look at Gavin Newsom and the tag Republican was next to his name, you guys would call him a slime ball. Think about it. The only reason you don't think he is one is because he says he's on your side, right? Anyway, one way or another, make sure you guys tap the like button, though it does help the channel grow in a lot of ways. Gotta kick some butt, man. We gotta kick some butt. Buddy sent me something here. All right, so let's see. DJ Santy, what's up, dude? It's good to see you back on here. My man, dude, is making his way back. Making my way downtown, walking fast, faces past, and I'm home now. Down, 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 down. Staring blankly ahead, making my way in through the crowd. Here we go. Anyway, we'll probably end the stream here in a little bit. Like I said, I got to go wash the windows in my car real quick, and doing my your thing. But I do want to thank you guys for tuning in. As always, we got a lot of cool people every time on here, and I appreciate y'all. Just stay safe, stay sexy, and sexy. Do your thing, and we'll see you on the next episode, you guys. It's pretty much ending this one early. Like I said, I gotta wash the windows a little bit. I gotta put some water, though, in a spray bottle. I think that would be a good idea. But anyway, catch y'all later. Bye.